stand up and film standing up, but then when you realize how comfortable it is to film sitting down, I just don't want to stand up anymore, so we're just gonna do it here. Hi friends! Hello book reading friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Mel, and today I bring you guys a little TBR moment, potentially. I don't know how much of a TBR this is, more than it's a small chat about BOOKTOK and popular books there, and books that I've been seeing over and over again, or books that I secondhand heard are being recommended in BOOKTOK a lot. Now, as you guys would know, a month or two ago, I don't even know how long ago that was, but I made a video reading BOOKTOK's most hyped books based on some amount of research that I carried through with BOOKTOK, and there were some leftover books that I did see in those videos, books that I've seen now that I really want to read and that I already own, and so I thought I'd bring you guys this little video talking about books that I own, have yet to read, potentially have yet to talk about on the channel that I want to get to soon. And I am, if anything, consistent with my commitment issues with TBRs and series, because I always say I'm gonna read books and then it takes me forever to do so. However, let's hope that by putting myself on blast and out there, I will actually read these books relatively soon. So yes, today's BOOKTOK I think I'm funny, but I'm not. Today's talk is gonna be all about hyped, popular BOOKTOK books that I really want to read soon. And before I get started, let's talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is Words with Friends 2. Let me tell you guys, this was a really chaotic moment, but quite recently I teamed up with Words with Friends 2, and I was joined by my best friend Carissa to actually play a game with them, The Last Word, and we filmed a video together, and now it is up on their YouTube channel, so I will be leaving it linked down below so you guys can go watch it and meet my best friend, which she's been slightly featured on videos before, but never full on like this. Not only will you find me on their YouTube channel, but you'll also be able to watch a lot of entertaining word games with other hilarious creators. And if you're looking for tips and tricks on how to better play Words with Friends 2, going to their YouTube channel and watching some of their videos is probably one of the best ways to do it. A lot of these brain teasers will really help challenge your mind, and these games will also be massive helps towards building your vocabulary. If you guys don't believe me on the chaos element, let me just leave a small clip of me and Carissa playing The Last Word because it was absolutely hilarious.
We're not heathens. So?
Why are you giving me words? The 5 seconds are off. Why do you keep giving me words with S? So if you do want to see the full thing and witness other creators playing some fun games as well, I will be leaving their YouTube channel linked down below so that you can witness all of the fun that is Words with Friends 2. Thank you so much to them for sponsoring today's video, and let's get right into some BOOKTOK books that I really want to read. Let me start off with a book that I think single-handedly I've seen on just about every TikTok I've watched, and that is We Hunt the Flame by Hafsah Faizal. Now, this is a book that I don't yet have physically, but I did manage to snag that Illumicrate special edition with that monolime art, and I just love the tagline for this. People survived because she killed, and people died because he lived. I feel like we're about to get some really amazing mirroring moments with these two characters, and I can't wait to witness that. And in this one, we have Safira, who is a hunter, and she disguises herself as a man in order to brave the cursed forest of her land in order to feed her people. And then on the other end of things, we've got Nasir, who is the Prince of Death, and he will assassinate absolutely anything and everyone who defies his autocratic father's rule. And both of these characters are very torn because if Safira displays that she is a woman, then her work gets discredited. And if Nasir displays any sort of compassion, then he is punished by his father. However, war is brewing and the shadows are threatening to consume the realm, and both of these characters will have to go on some sort of quest to save the people on their respective sides, except that one mission is overlapping the other and they actually might be facing a death threat from the other. I can't wait to read this, and I can't wait for the angst, because if we know anything about YA books, is that what? They'll probably fall in love and defeat a greater evil together. I mean, honestly, may just be making shit up in my brain, but honestly, I'm kind of here for it, and I know it's a lot of people's favorite duology, so I'm excited to see the world, I'm excited to see the magic system, and I'm excited to meet these characters. Next up, I have a read that is both intimidating to me, but I really want to experience, and that is My Dark Vanessa. I've been hearing some really amazing things about this book, and honestly, with the amount of people now raving about this on BOOKTOK, which this book had already gone through its booktube phase, I'm just really excited to experience this. I do believe this was this author's debut novel novel. And essentially this book is an exploration of the psychological dynamics of the relationship between a precocious yet naive teenage girl and her magnetic and manipulative teacher. And it's supposed to be a juxtaposition between memory and trauma, and a teenage girl realizing the power that her own body wields. It sounds like a very emotional, touching, and introspective read. I feel like this is one of those books that I'm gonna read and it's gonna mess me up and I'm gonna thoroughly annotate it too. Like, I honestly wouldn't be surprised. And I feel like I need to prioritize this ASAP and read it, because anytime I read the back of this book or anytime I hear anybody talking about it, I just know this is one of those books that I personally really love. Anything that's thought-provoking in any way is something that I really vibe with, and particularly with the exploration of trauma, there's something psychologically that's just so interesting to me that I really like when they're done well to read about. And so we'll see what my Dark Vanessa brings, but it's supposedly a great book. How could this be a book talk video if I didn't talk about The Spanish Love Deception by Elena de Armas? Elena Armas. Anytime I see the last name Armas, I just think of Ana de Armas, and I just want to put de before Armas. Anyway, point is, Spanish Love Deception. This book has been all over the place. I feel like everybody on BookTok loves this book. Everybody on BookTube hates this book. And so I'm really interested to see where I'm gonna fall with the Spanish Love Deception, because I feel there is no real consensus amongst platforms, but rather it tends to be very divisive depending on where you're looking. But overall, this is definitely one of those books that I just heavily associate with BookTok. I am particularly excited about this one, however, because of that Hispanic touch, because of that Hispanic representation and juice and flair and love and just spice that I hope to see in this book. Because this is fake dating, it is supposedly set in a wedding in Spain, which is already exciting enough, and supposedly Aaron Blackford. I've heard so many things about this man, about this fictional character, that I just need to witness it for myself. And so in this one we follow Catalina Martin, who has her sister's wedding, and she has about as little time as you can imagine to pick a date to take with her and fake that she's in love and host as a couple with. She has lied to her family and she has told everybody that she is engaged and that she is very much in love. And so in order to make everybody believe her lie, she enlists the help of Aaron Blackford, which is essentially the last person she'd even like for this job, and they now need to fly together to Spain and make her whole family believe that they're madly, desperately in love. All I'm saying is BookTok better not have lied to me about this one. Y'all better not have lied to me about this one, because everybody's been asking me to read this book. I have so many DMs every time I ask people like, what's your favorite book? What should I read to get out of a reading slump? The Spanish Love Deception always comes up. And when I tell y'all, if this book is bad, if this book is this long and this bad for a romance, I'm going to at y'all and everybody on BookTok, and I will call people out. I feel like at this point, this book is what a lot of people would consider a BookTok classic. I think when I personally look back and think about the start of the talk, I think about this book. I think this is one of those first few books that BookTok just grabbed and viralized, and everybody was reading it, everybody was loving it. Because of it, it got so many special editions, it got picked up by a publisher, because this was first independently self-published, and that's just impressive on so many levels. I think that just shows the power of social media, the power of the talks, as a lot of people would like to say. That is The Atlas 6 by Olivie Blake. This is obviously the old cover, which I arguably like more than the new cover. However, The Atlas Paradox, that is one sexy book. I will definitely be ordering the Waterstones edition because those edges are really nice. However, The Atlas 6, Dark Academia, you have this super secret society called the Alexandrian Society. I also saw a TikTok of somebody saying that this had one of the best threesome scenes that they've ever read, and I am very much looking and interested to see that, because that's not what I'd expect out of a book like this, but apparently it's in here. And essentially in this society, they are the caretakers of lost knowledge and antiquities. I don't even know how to say that word, but they are the secret, most elite magical society out there. And in particular, we're gonna follow the latest 6 entries to the Alexandrian Society, and I believe only 5 of them will be initiated, 1 will be eliminated. Is that person gonna be killed for secrecy? Is that person not gonna make it alive? I am very interested to see how this plays off, and also this has got some really cool illustrations in the actual book for the characters, which visually is just phenomenal. So I'm just really excited to read this because I feel like out of every BOOKTok book that I've kind of observed make its way around, this was one of the most well received across platforms. Just everybody seems to love this, and so I am excited. Another book that I didn't particularly associate with BOOKTok, however, apparently it's really big there, and in fact this morning when I was scrolling through BOOKTok, because I definitely re-downloaded the platform, I saw somebody absolutely sobbing their eyes out at this book, which I already knew it's supposedly sad because I follow the author. Jesse the reader has also talked a lot about this book. He interviewed Dustin, and that is You've Reached Sam. The cover for this is single-handedly one of the most beautiful covers I've ever seen, and the story just seems very heartbreaking, and so I, for one, want to experience this when I'm in the mood for a good cry, which is any time of year, really. And so in this one, we've got best friends Julie and Sam, and they go through a massive tragedy together, and Julie is now mourning Sam. Sam has unfortunately passed away, and in one last final attempt to connect with him and just feel his presence in a way, Julie dials his phone, and through some way or another, Sam actually picks up. And it's a story about grief and healing and friendship, and I'm not ready, which is why I've not read this book yet, because I feel like I will absolutely sob my eyes out. I could be wrong, maybe I won't cry. I feel like I've also seen people not cry at this, but with how emotional I am, I feel like some tears are gonna be shed, but it's also so short. I'm like, what's gonna happen? It seems like sad books are the topic of the talks. I don't know what that says about us, that we just like to go through pain that willingly, but the Midnight Library is another one. And this one I didn't necessarily buy because of BOOKTok, but I have just been hearing about this book for forever. I feel like it's one of those books that universally a lot of people talk about for some reason, based on my own feelings and what I've experienced in life. I think it's gonna be very cathartic to read, and I feel like this is one of those books that's either definitely gonna be a hit or a miss for you based on what I've heard. So the way that this book is set up is through the Midnight Library, which is a place where people can go and essentially observe how their life would have played out if they'd made different choices in life. And in particular, we follow Nora, who has had a very tough life, and she has a chance to make it right through the Midnight Library. And I know this book deals a lot with mental health, and there's just something about it that it's appealing to me. I'm just slightly scared of reading it because I want to love it, but I also don't want to chance not liking it, so that's why I feel I've been stalling with this one. But I'm really excited to give this a read and fall in love with it potentially, because I mean, with the types of books that I like, I can't really imagine a world where I dislike this, but I've been surprised before. Peak pain is what I'd call this. A Little Life, which also, this is just so satisfying. However, we've got A Little Life by yanagihara, and I am terrified of this book. And anybody who's not terrified of this book, I have just one question for you, and that is how. If you look at the content warnings of this book, it's probably single-handedly, definitely the most intimidating thing ever. And it's just one of those things that I constantly question myself as to why I want to read this as much as I do, even though I already know everything that happens. Kind of. It's like I know for the most part what happens, but I think my brain has just decided to continuously forget because I've definitely read whole like spoilery sections of this book. And each time I go, I have no desire to read this, and then I forget and my brain goes, we totally want to read this. Let me just read you the back because I don't think me explaining it could give it any justice. A Little Life follows 4 college students, broke, adrift, and buoyed only by their friendship and ambition, as they move to New York in search of fame and fortune. While their relationships, which are tinged by addiction, success, and pride, deepen over the decades, the men are held together by their devotion to the brilliant, enigmatic Jude, a man scarred by an unspeakable childhood trauma. I'm still wondering why I want to put myself through this. I don't know. I guess I want to be one of the cool kids who said that they've read this book. I feel like this is going to be one of those books that I'll potentially really love, but won't really recommend to people. Or I could absolutely fucking hate this, and that's another option. But this book is, first of all, massive. It's almost, oh no, it's 800 pages. A newer addition to my collection, but one I saw this particular cover and I just knew I had to have it. That is On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. Now, I love this cover. It is so absolutely stunning. It's the complementary colors that are doing it for me. It's the foiling. Everything about this cover is screaming buy me, and that I did. Absolutely looking forward to reading this. I have heard stunning things about Ocean Vuong's writing. I've heard that it's unique, it's lyrical, it just hits you right in the feels, and I want that. I want something to hit me right in the feels. The premise of this book is a letter from a son to a mother who cannot read. It is written by Little Dog in his 20s as he unearths his family's history from before he was even born. It talks about Vietnam, the lasting effects of war, and his family's struggle to forge a future for themselves. And I believe, based on the synopsis, that this is really Little Dog's only way to present parts of himself to his mother that he hasn't really been capable of doing before. And I am ready to experience this because I feel like I really haven't heard anything negative of this book. I feel like Ocean Vuong's books tend to be really well received, and so I am excited. Would it be a book talk video if there wasn't a Colleen Hoover book in here? And that is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. Now, I feel like BookTok has taken Colleen Hoover books and just taken them to like new grounds. Like, yes, BookTok also has really liked Colleen Hoover in the past, but TikTok just takes it to like new realms. Every person I've watched on BookTok talks about a Coho book at least once, if not all of them. Like, it's actually unreal. I have a love-hate relationship with Coho and her books. Some of them have been really big hits for me, and some of them have been really big misses. I just cannot seem to make up my mind as to where I stand with Colleen Hoover books. This is one of those books that I think is pretty universally well received. I mean, I think all of them are. Even the ones that I've hated, I feel like people really love. But this one though, I keep hearing about ugly love, and I need to read this and just find out what the hype is about. Like, what is happening? It's not exactly love at first sight for Tate Collins when she meets the tormented and secretive Miles Archer. They wouldn't even go as far as to consider themselves friends. The only thing Tate and Miles have in common is mutual attraction that can't be denied. He isn't looking for love, but she doesn't have time for it, so that leaves just the sex. Interesting. Hearts get infiltrated, promises get broken, rules get shattered, and love gets ugly. That does, I mean, I did buy it because I am interested, but I had no idea that that's what it was about. I am really interested. Oh, see, Colleen Hoover and her flashbacks, I literally just saw 6 years earlier. I'm interested to see what's gonna happen in here. Are they gonna end up together? Are they gonna not end up together? And last but not least, I have been seeing this float around BookTok for some reason. Don't know why, really, but I own this, and when I saw it, I was like, okay, it's my one chance to include a classic in this video, and that is Wuthering Heights. A lot of people also have been talking about Pride and Prejudice, but I've already obviously read that. However, Wuthering Heights is one of those books that I really want to experience. I have been hearing everybody and their mama talk about this book, not only because it's mandatory reading for a lot of people. I feel like After also created a new craze for Wuthering Heights in a way that I think nobody was expecting. And this, I know, we follow Heathcliff and Catherine, and like nobody's really good in this. And I know nothing about Wuthering Heights except that I am massively curious about this. May you not rest as long as I am living. You said I killed you. Haunt me then. Whoa. Okay, that sounds angsty. I feel like this is gonna be the poster child for angst. Ooh, it is a novel of impossible desires, violence, whoa, transgression, ooh, and it is a masterpiece of intense, unsettling power. Anytime I see the word power, I just think of Palpatine, but that's a conversation for another time. Let's hope I get to it soon. And so this right here, plus We Hunt the Flame, is my stack of BookTok books that I really want to read. So let a girl know if you'd like to see any of these featured in a video. I can totally make like a most hyped BookTok vlog again. Literally, if you guys challenge me, I will do just about anything as long as my eyes can read and as long as my brain can handle it. And so if you'd like to see any of these books in a vlog, just hit me up. Just literally let a girl know in the comments. And yes, those are all of the books that I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to give this video a massive thumbs up down below, and comment down below what are some BookTok books that you really want to read, some BookTok books that maybe you're really curious about, or what are some BookTok books that you've read and particularly really enjoyed. Are any of them on this list? Let a girl know down in the comments. And if you reach the very end of the video, let's leave a crying face emoji because I feel like most of these books are so sad. So if you reach the end, let's just leave a crying face emoji down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe down below if you haven't done so already. I am constantly uploading videos that I am sure you do not want to miss. And if you want to support the channel further, I do have a Patreon. We call ourselves the Citadel, and that is always linked down below if you're looking for more exclusive content and live shows and a book club and a bunch of other goodies. That is always linked down below alongside all of my social medias. Again, thank you so much to Words with Friends 2 for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to check out the video that I made with my best friend Carissa over on their YouTube channel. I will be leaving it linked down below so that you can subscribe and enjoy all of their content. And yes, I love you guys so much, and I shall see you on the next one. Bye guys.